My name is Patrick Nissom. I'm a real estate agent here in the Bay Area. Did you know that you can get into a triplex or a fourplex with only 3.5% down? FHA loans open up incredible opportunities for first-time home buyers who are looking to be investors. But before you get into a triplex or fourplex situation with FHA, you need to be aware that there is a pass-fail test that may prohibit you from getting that loan issued if you're not meeting certain criteria. And that criteria is called the Self-Sufficiency Test. The Self-Sufficiency Test takes all of the estimated market rent of all of the units, including the one you want to occupy, and it takes 75% of that number. Your principal and interest, mortgage insurance, taxes, and HOA, if applicable, has to be less than that number, or else it will not pass the test. You're going to want to make sure you run some of these calculations ahead of time. Why? Because if you go into contract and you run through your loan contingency and you find out after that contingency is already gone that you failed the self-sufficiency test, your EMD might be at risk, and that deposit could be tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. You've got to make sure you're doing your homework, because this is a really, really, really good opportunity to get a property at a low down payment. But if you're not paying attention, it could be very, very expensive, and you may end up with no property at all. The good news about the self-sufficiency test is no matter what the leases are that are currently existing with the property, they're always going to use market rent, even if the actual rents are lower. I repeat, if there are leases already existing with the property, it doesn't matter if they're lower than market rent. This calculation is using the FHA appraiser's estimated market rent for their equation. So if the rents are low in the building that you're trying to buy, don't panic. As long as the estimated market rents, which you can find on rentometer.com, are higher, they will use that number. There are a couple things you can do if you're running the numbers and your self-sufficiency test is failing. Number one, you can increase the down payment. The down payment increase is, of course, going to lower your principal and interest. And it's really important to consider that increasing your down payment may be one of the only ways that you can get around this. Your other option would be finding a lower interest rate. Of course, again, it's tethered to the principal and interest. It's one of the few things you can make adjustments to. And so I encourage you to try to find the lowest rate in this case. And of course, work with a lender who is well versed with the FHA loan. And in addition, one of the last things that you can do is you can try to ask for a lower sales price or negotiate a lower sales price. Chances are, if you're already in contract, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to bring that price down. It's certainly not going to sit well with the listing agent. However, if you're in a situation where maybe a couple $1,000s in the purchase price makes a difference and you're already in contract, perhaps they may oblige if you're already down that road. I really, really recommend making these calculations ahead of time, because by the time you're in contract, you should honor that obligation of the purchase price that you set forward with, regardless of the FHA guidelines. So what can you do to prepare for the FHA self-sufficiency test? I built out a spreadsheet that's down there in the description, and it's free for you to use. Keep in mind, it is for estimating purposes only. Please refer to your lender to get official FHA self-sufficiency numbers and make sure they review the numbers that you spit out from this calculator. However, what this calculator will do is it will give you a pretty decent estimate as far as whether or not your property is going to pass or fail the self-sufficiency test. In addition, if you're looking for market rents, I suggest using rentometer.com. Rentometer.com allows you to put in the address of a subject property, and it will spit out a rough estimate of market rents, both on the low end, high end, and average. Keep in mind that you can only run about 5 of these estimates before you have to pay for the service. So make sure you're either writing these numbers down so that you don't have to run them again, or that you pay for a pro model so that you can go and run these comps as you wish. So that's it. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. It is the best way for other people to get this information as well. And that is what I'm here to do. I'm here to help as many of you as possible. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you again.